everyone. Welcome to LongStache.
LongStache.
LongStache. You have to go LongStache.
Long. Bit like Popeye. You know, he used to have that pipe, didn't he? It's a bit like that.
Yes. Well, Ritchie and I are joined by Kenn, the Hekatean of the Hekatean Path. Did I say it correctly?
You did. Hello, everybody.
And we were supposed to have Kenn on, but there was a last-minute change because life happened. So Ritchie and I, we moved on. We had a moment of silence, and we
had a moment.
Yes, and I believe there was some consumption of adult beverages to help get us over the hump after the live. So
yes, and then we flipped through our little black books of names and addresses.
Yes. So, of course, there's Ritchie Longman Tarot.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
I am Tarot Stash. Thank you for being here. And guess what? We are doing readings. This is the Mabon edition or the autumnal equinox edition. Please note the man in here. Let's put you. Here. Can I put you in? Can I put you in the big spot here? I'm going to do this, and there it is, everybody. There it is. Is it
something I just threw on? No, literally, it was something I just threw on.
It is literally something he just.
Something I just threw on. Yeah, it might be coming off at some point during this live.
That's okay. That's okay. So let's take a minute and say hello to everyone because we have some of the best chatters here. Barbara is here. Barbara Ruth, great to see you.
Hi, Barbara.
Kaylee, Fogo Pogo, who is, of course, cow counting lurking. We have Beth Espacia Rising and Maria's Perfect Health. Hello. Marielle's Perfect Health. Sorry. Mary Hernandez Walker. Hello. Jacob Bush, who I get the pleasure of celebrating the equinox with him tomorrow evening.
Just
Brill's Digital Journal. Calla Lizzie.
Hi.
Sue.
Hi,
Philippa.
Hi.
Duncan has arrived.
Oh, there he is.
And Madame Maru. Yes. And yes, he is like making the move. I am like going, I should just do this. I should just do the whole show like this because, it's all like, geez. That's all right. Jonathan is here. Did someone say shenanigans? The amazing Diana Oil Painter, who was on my channel a couple of weeks ago for Casual, which was wonderful. Tortoiseshell Moon Kathy is here. Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Yes. Life happened. How dare it? Yes. Joe Louise. Hello. Getting caught up. There's so many people. Meta Ness. Hello. Okay. Cute crown. Yep. Looking lovely.
Thank you.
So
thank you for the compliment.
We're all heaping praise on you. So before I tell you how we're going to do the readings, what do the two of you, if you do anything at all, celebrate this time of the year? I'm going to start with Kenn. Kenn, what sort of things do you do this year?
So this time of year is, for me, I sort of see the autumn equinox is the point where Persephone descends back into the underworld as we sort of go more into the sort of the fallower period of the year. So for me, at the autumn equinox, I kind of focus on that myth of Persephone's descent, but also because obviously I am a Hecate person. You know, it's Hecate's role within that as the companion and the guide that sort of ushers her down to take up her throne again. And for me, I always like the equinoxes because I like that sense of light and dark balance. And I do prefer the autumn equinox to the spring, just because I prefer this time of year. I just like the, you know, the smell in the air, the sort of cooler temperatures, the color changes in all the plants and things. So yeah, I find it a lot more cozy this time of year.
Absolutely. What about you, Ritchie? What do you
Well,
celebrate?
Ken, I love the spring equinox, and I find this one a little bit harder to do it. So I'm always very gentle and kind to myself at this time. Checking in. I always use the equinoxes to check in, to do jobs as well, just around the house. For example, I always clean and moisturize the leather sofa. It has to be done every year. So I always do little jobs like that you yearly have to do. This year, it's all about gratitude, and I want to spend some time reflecting on what I've accomplished and what still needs to be done this year. I've got a lovely ritual celebration on Sunday outside, like I normally go to with my group. But I don't tend to rush around doing lots. It's about beginning preparations for the winter and just being kind, checking in on yourself, not start to cross things off your list, you know, put aside all the stuff that you've been doing all summer and just go, right, it's time to start thinking about quietening life down a bit. Not completely closing down, but beginning to quieten down.
Yes, yes. I'm a big fan of the equinoxes. It's the time of the year that is, for me in particular, about balance. We have the balance of light or day and night. And so where I'm focusing my attention on the day helps to guide how I'm going to be spending my attention the next 6 months, sort of energetically. So there's this magic with it as well. So, I am also, I have a celebration on Saturday with some friends, and then my coven is celebrating on Sunday. So it will be very nice. And so let me put up there, if you want a reading based on the following prompts, you type in #balance. We are using the giveaway tool to help us with that. And our prompt, because I'm going to take a sip. I haven't done this for a week, so, you know. So more people have come in. CJ, Colorful Journey, Water Lily, Rossi. It's great. Oh, Beth has asked, do you three switch out decks now?
Yes.
I'm working on that.
Switch up everything, actually. I start thinking about the decor I've got around, what needs to be put away, things like that. General tidying up as well. But decks, the ones that I don't have decks for every month or every season, but I've now got decks for the winter time and the summertime. So it's time to switch them up.
Yeah. Hi, Kim B. And Love 12. Duncan asked Ken, when you mentioned here he is, please do not be concerned. When you mentioned here he is, please do not be concerned. Do not be concerned.
Don't be concerned.
I shall not be concerned.
I mean, and the fact that we're talking and saying don't be concerned, it probably is making you even more concerned.
Yeah. So
I see people are following the prompts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was a question that I was asked, how did my quilting class go? My quilting workshop, the Color Confidence workshop, was brilliant. It was exactly what I needed. It sparked a lot of joy in me that I didn't know wasn't there. And so, I mean, people were brilliant. It was wonderful. So
good.
Yes, and Rossi said I recently got a Halloween Lenormand.
Oh, lovely.
So
actually, that's an idea. Sometimes I change up the system, so I tend to use Lenormand in the winter months.
Oh,
More than I do, and perhaps move away from other bits and pieces that I do. So that's a nice prompt there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And could we do a Lenormand thing like for a LongStache?
I thought about this. The problem with Lenormand, you need a few, don't you? And it works on building on one card or where it is. I have tried that before, and I personally haven't had a huge deal of success. But I think about a way we could do that. That'd be interesting.
Well, we could put Kenn in the middle. Kenn could pull a card, and then we could pull 2 cards around it, and then you could read like that. That is, if there's no concern if Kenn comes back. He's just like, okay.
Yeah, I just nod and agree to anything.
I don't know, how would people feel about a whole Lenormand LongStache rather than a tarot?
And I know Jane the Seeker loves some Lenormand. Do you read Lenormand, Kenn?
It's not something I've got to grips with. I've kind of tried, but I've not sort of like gone headlong into it myself. It's just another one of those things that's on the list of things to learn. Yeah. The ever-growing list.
Oh yes, and yes, and Kaylee does say Gerald does have a new Lenormand deck, so it's like there you go. And oh wow, JL said Gerald's enthusiasm encouraged me to start working on my own quilt. Good for you.
Excellent.
Good for you. And a couple of votes for Lenormand.
There we go.
So there you go. Any other thoughts on one of the things that I do on the equinoxes and the solstices, I do switch out all of my altar decoration to coordinate with the seasons. So, and I have, is it the Rose of Jericho? And I water it on each of the equinoxes and each of the solstices.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
I have one as well, but it's had to go away because the cats kept stealing it. In fact, that is the main problem at the moment for me in any form of decoration is that the cats either steal it, eat it, or otherwise destroy it. So I have to sort of limit or put it in such a place where they can't get at it.
Yeah.
Well, so the reading prompts, the first one is how do I find balance? We're really talking about that. The balance, it could be whatever energy is for you. And then, Kenn, you talked about this beauty of, because we were talking about light and dark. And Kenn has no idea what I'm going to ask him, so I'll hold his hand. Is this like going light? You talked about as doing in what direction does light go?
So the things of coming out, things that you do outwardly, like you would things that are coming out into the light.
And then what about the dark?
And so the dark is more internalized. So the things that you maybe are meditating on or mulling over or just waiting for the right moment on, but more to do with sort of introspection rather than the outward projection of the light.
Perfect. So those are the reading prompts. And so we will do as many readings as we can. And by the way, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And so let's see who is going to be first for a reading. Hey, Art Mancy. What?
We should have music as the name.
I know. I haven't figured it out. Well, look who's first. Medahanes. Yes. Please just let us know that you are here. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Medahanes. So, and yay, okay. And so, so what we are doing is Kenn will read, Ritchie will read the first prompt, Kenn will read the second one, and I will read the third, and then we will rotate. So,
Okay, should I start, guys?
go for it.
The first one of the evening. I have wonderful for you. For how do I find balance? I have the judgment card. So how do you find balance in all of this? It's time to draw a line under what's been happening during the last 6 months. It's time to review it. It's time to act on the stuff that you know you still need to work on, and ditch that long list. I've talked a bit about that beginning, but judgment is about final decisions and starting afresh. So that is how you are finding balance.
Nice.
So for what you are sending out, or the projective energies, I have the 10 of Wands, and what I'm getting from this is similar to what Richie just touched on, that there is still work to be done, and I can see that this is illustrated by the wands, but the fact that they are growing still, that there is, you know, fresh growth, there's leaves, so it's still a very productive period of time, even though we may be heading from this point on into the darker half of the year. It's still, there's still work to be done, and there's still a lot of effort that needs to sort of be put out there in the physical world.
And I have, you know, for what to draw in, I have the 9 of Swords reversed. And the 9 of Swords reversed says to me, it's time to stop worrying about these things. And instead of drawing in the worry, draw in the success and the ability to do the things that you find challenging. So I think this is a very interesting card for that. Drawing it in, it's reversed. It's not, you know, if it were right up, I would say, you know, you're going to be having bad dreams. Draw back in your power. So thank you for that. Hope that was helpful.
Gerald, I'm just going to ask you, that's the first time I've known you draw reversals. Is that, it's not something you tend to read with? Does that just happen to fall out that way, or?
No, I do have I have a few decks that are that I do reversals with, and this is one of them. So it just feels appropriate to do that.
Nice, I'm loving it.
Barbara, if you would like to be entered in for a reading, you need to type in #balance. That information is scrolling down at the bottom. So hope that was helpful for you. And avert your gaze. And Nancy is here, and Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, is here. And we have feedback. Thanks for asking about name pronunciation. Thank you. And for the reading, your messages resonate. I love that. Love that. So, and you know, here's something to think about, everybody, because we are celebrating the equinox.
This section of the video is brought to you by the word autumnal. Everyone say it with me. Autumnal. Autumnal. Of, relating to, or characteristic of autumn. drop like the autumn leaves, and like, share, subscribe to our channels. Autumnal.
I just had to do that because I can do it, you know, once a year. Well, anyhow. All right. Who do we have next? Next up is, and yes, I do have to figure out how to make music, but Pre's Digital Journal, let us know you are here.
What kind of music would it be, do you think?
It would be something that I think it would be a bit of a like carnival sort of thing.
I think it has to have thwarp in there.
It has to have a thwarp.
Yeah. That's the one.
There you go. All right. So they are here. Thank you. Yay.
Okay, so the what was number one again? I think it's gone off my screen.
It's all right. It, how do I find balance?
How do I find balance? Okay, so I've drawn from the pocket edition of the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and the card for this one is Arnica, which is the card of the teacher. And I think for this, it's about sort of offering your advice and your experience outwardly to the people around you at this time, you know, whether that is literally, you know, as a teacher of like herbal remedies or such, but definitely this is definitely a time where you sharing the knowledge that you have with others. It's kind of helpful at this time of year, I think, especially when a lot of things go a bit more home based and sort of internalized with when as the winter sort of approaches. So obviously as the card of the teacher, you know, embrace that sharing of knowledge without sort of thinking too much about, oh, I don't know enough, because everybody knows enough about something.
Yeah. And what to send out. This is the 9 of Wands. And with the 9 of Wands, what to send out is you send out that you're almost done. All of your energy, you've got enough to stick to it to finish the things that you're working on. I would also say it's sort of a message of, this is the amount of spoons that I have to do the stuff that I need to do. Don't ask me to do anymore because I will not. So understand what you're working on. So there you go.
And what to draw in, I have the beautiful Empress card. There she is. It's time to pull in the energies of the season. The Empress is all about nature. It's all about growth. This time of the year, the growth season in the Northern Hemisphere is finished, and it's now being pulled back into the tree roots. It's all starting to close down there. So draw in that energy that you need to get through the next 6 months if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. It's also time to not forget nature, to still go out for a walk. Although perhaps your daylight is fading, the amount of time you have, you can still study a bit like Ken was saying, to do with herbalism and different bits and pieces going on. So start to think about switching up being outside to perhaps study of it, or finding the energy that you've had from the last 6 months to internalize all the nature, all the goodness, all the bounty.
I think this is a really great reading for people who are watching, because we've got that balance here, and then here's the last ditch effort. We're in the second harvest, and then the Empress is reminding us that part of what needs to happen is that we rest.
Yeah.
Is that we rest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for being here. Amanda, I don't know why, but the word autumnal reminds me of the word somersault. I am a fan of the word autumnal. I will say it as many times, the autumnal equinox. So here you go. Okay, avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. And, next up, we have, who do we have? I hope we can get through to everybody because we've got 17 people. I've closed the questions. You're very welcome, please. Hypnicity. Let us know you're here. So, all right. So, and okay, so I'm going to, you know what's fun is I haven't done this for like a week, and it's like starting all over. It's like, oh my gosh.
How do I do this?
How do I do this? This is so much fun. Hypnicity is here. So, all right. So hypnicity, how do you find balance? And how do you find balance? Six of Swords. Understand that part of the balance is leaving one shore, getting into a boat, trusting that that boat is going to take you to the right place on the other shore. And that's a great balance because this is, I love the Six of Swords. It's a transition. You're certainly definitely thinking, I think you're definitely moving. This is a great balance card. So
this is beautiful because I have what to send out. I have the Knight of Wands. Look how this knight is riding off into the sunset. The Knight of Wands I've always found to be one of the most exciting knights in the deck, but also a bit annoying because the energies are very fast, very flowing, and they also tend to disappear like that because the energies are so fast. They're rather like, it's rather like you had a very good friend who would appear in your life and consume all your time, and you'd have an absolute great time, and then they would just disappear off again, and you kind of wouldn't hear from them for a little while there. So what to send out? It's time to perhaps exit with a flourish. That's what I'm going to say. Go in a cloud of confetti. It's time, as Gerald said, to move on, but you've had your wonderful time. Don't forget that. But it is time to ride off into the sunset to a wonderful theme tune, roll the end credits. It's time to start something else.
I love that.
And it's interesting that you both have kind of touched on moving on to something else and the sunset and things, because I stuck with the herbal astrology deck, and so for what to draw in, I got the St. John's Wort, which is the card of radiance. Now we all know that obviously, you know, the height for this particular planet is the summer solstice, but the summer solstice is one of those like blink and you'll miss it, and then we're already sort of drawing the hours back in kind of moments. But the good thing is like what we can do with it when we harvest it. If we harvest the flowers and the buds to make tinctures or healing oils and things like that, it enables us to carry some of that, of the sun's radiance, with us into the darker months. And so this card is definitely telling you to retain a sense of radiance, of warmth, of joy, possibly of humility, but you know, as we're all sort of withdrawing, just keep all of those positive aspects about yourself.
That's great. Wonderful. All right.
Beautiful.
So let's add this back and see who's next. Next up is, we'll avert your gaze here in a minute. I can do that on the side. Amanda Carroll is up. Amanda Carroll. And I did see Amanda here. So here, let's put this all back. And so there we go. And Hypnicity said, I'm an energy healer. Thanks. So it's perfect.
Right. I've pulled 2 cards for you, Amanda, because I'm a dick and I can do that. And it upsets Gerald occasionally. So there we go.
I've never called you that. I will call you an overachiever. And I fully endorse that.
Loving it. And I'm pleased I did pull 2 cards, because how do I find balance? We've got the 9 of Swords coming back again. And this is, I like this Knight of Swords because it's the sleepless night, but it's the monster under the bed that's causing the worries. And that's fitting for this time of year, because darker evenings, we have more horror stories, Halloween, Samhain, all of that wonderful stuff to be working on there. I've also pulled for you, though, because what we're talking about is how do you find balance? It's time to let go of the fears that perhaps you can't do stuff or you haven't been able to achieve what you wanted to, and let things settle, as this card says. It's the card of the Selkie. It's the card, the Selkies, I don't know if you know, but they in legend strip their seal coats off and become women. And then they can change and they live in 2 worlds, the world of the sea and the world of the human beings. But let things settle down. So this is that calmness. Think of the autumn leaves falling off the trees. Settle, calm. This is your time.
Mm-hmm.
So what to send out? I've pulled from the Oracle of the Hekatean Path, the Nycteria card, which is of the night. That's the card of secrets. And interestingly to what Ritchie just said, especially with the 9 of Swords, with the nighttime sort of worries and things that we can plague ourselves with, the anxieties and sometimes the secrets that we're mulling over, whether we should talk to somebody about things or admit that we are necessarily having problems or struggling, or just wanting to be able to touch with somebody else even if it's just as an emotional sounding board. And I think this card is actually saying, that's possibly beneficial, is talk about things you wouldn't necessarily talk about. Reach out to somebody that you can trust and that you can feel a connection with, and have a conversation, clear the air, clear your mind, so that you can worry less as we go forward.
Well, and Ken, I want to add right on to that, because I have the Daughter of Swords. So what should you be drawing in? You should be drawing in new thoughts, word and deeds, things that are going to give you guidance and excite you to explore. This is very much an idea of somebody who is, for me anyhow, or this is what I'm feeling, is you need, listen to me, you need to do this. No, you don't need to do anything. This would be a great time for you to learn about something new and explore something, and to use that time to do some studying, and as Ken said, speak with somebody that you trust, maybe a mentor, someone who is going to be drawing you in and allowing you to do what Amanda wants to know about, not what everybody tells Amanda she should know about. So there you go. So here you go. Let's hold that up. There we go. There you
Same
go.
colors, aren't they? Nice colors.
That's it. Great. I love that. Duncan asked, what was the deck you have with the Selkie?
Oh, this one. It's the Goddess Love Oracle deck by Wendy Andrews.
Very nice.
It's the one. I have had 2 decks and I changed them up this time of year. It's got, look at the backs, very wintry. So
very nice.
There we go.
Yeah. Amanda, when you're learning something new, I totally want to know what you're learning. So I think that's very, very cool. All right. Next up, we have Madame Maru. I feel like I'm shouting. Am I really, really overly loud, everybody?
No, you're beautifully leveled.
I'm beautifully leveled. I'm beautifully enthusiastic. There you go. All right. So, Madame Maru, just let us know you're here. And Madame Maru had a bit of a scare recently, so I hope you are okay. And so, and Lovely is here, sending some love your way. So, all right.
Okay, where am I today? Oh, I'm number one. So how do we find balance, or how do you find balance? So I've flicked back to the Tarot of Traditions, and what we've got is the Eight of Wands, which is fairly typical of Rider-Waite-Smith style ones. But what I like about this one is I don't know if you can quite see it because I've got a bit of shine on my screen, but you've got a mixture of the caterpillars and the wonderful sort of moth or butterfly. And I think that in order to find the balance at this point in time, it's about sort of that transformative energy of, emerging from a chrysalis or emerging from maybe a time of being slightly more withdrawn or retreated, and, embracing a new chapter and starting something fresh, and sort of taking the rapid energy of the Eight of Wands to sort of carry you forward in a positive way.
So, from the Tarot of the Divine, what should you send out? I got death. And what I am going to say about this is what you send out is based upon the image of this card. This person has a light that is shining right at their heart chakra. I am going to say, send out the clearest heart chakra vibes you can. The clearest heart chakra vibes you can. Lots of change and transformation when it comes to death. And this is based on the White Bear King Vailmon, which is it's a Norwegian fairy tale. So this is about metamorphosis. Send that out and let the universe support you.
And I'm going to add on to that. Now, don't get freaked out, but I have Death card. So what to draw in as well. So when we talked, Gerald just mentioned metamorphosis, sending it out, but also drawing in that change. This is a wonderful card for the season. I always see Celadwen in this card here. So this is about taking the time, if you know anything about the legend of Celadwen, taking the time to brew, to make, to create, and then use it when it's ready. Could you also put your death card up for me, Gerald, as well?
Yes.
Because one thing they have in common is this bright red curtain, scarf, whatever it is, that crimson color. I think that's the color of the season for you, Madame Maru. So perhaps find, perhaps it's time to change up the decor, but think about red. Think about the power of that.
And I also have to say, with Kenn's, the Eight of Wands, there are a lot of energy, and you brought out those beautiful caterpillars and butterflies. But in mine, she is pulling back the curtain to be able to see what's real.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. And she's like, OMG, LOL, double tap. Sorry about that. So, yeah, sprouting wings.
We all know we're not talking about, we all know what we're dealing when we come to a death card.
Yes.
But no one's freaked out by that.
Yes. And Kaylee is red is a good for root chakra and grounding. Yes. And Hypnicity said spreading wings. And Shannon Mary 1523 is here. And I did see, I want to say Hekatean groupie, but that's not right. One of your friends, Ken. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude like that, but hello. Who do we have next? Harley is up. Harley, let us know that you're here. Readings are closed right now. Stick around because there's Harley. Readings are closed, but stick around because you never know. A reading may resonate for you. Harley is here. Oops, there we go. All the cards speak of huge change and a beautiful metamorphosis. Yes. Okay, so how does Harley find balance? Harley finds balance in the Three of Pentacles. Harley finds balance in taking the time to lay out a bit of a plan and to bring in some of the experts and to start following the blueprint and the instructions. Follow the recipe the first time you do it. And then the next time you do it, you can mix it up. You find balance by, oh, here you go, by reading the instructions.
Love it.
So, there you go.
What to send out? Nine of Pentacles. I love this Nine of Pentacles because this is a wonderful wintry scene. It's not the lush garden and the lady with the bird that we normally see. This is somebody who is steady in themselves. They are absolutely in the moment. They have the bird on their hand, which they've trained and they've worked with. They are now ready to do whatever they can. And it's a bit like waiting for the moment, waiting for the call. It's almost like she's just waiting to see the prey appear in the background and she's going to send that hawk off to get it. So what to send out is that waiting, that anticipation. And you know that you have all the skills that you have honed over the season to actually be in the right place, doing the right thing. You are skilled up, you are leveled up, you are ready to go. Just make sure you're using your skills for the right purpose and putting the energy into it for the right person when it's needed.
Beautiful.
Interestingly, that you two both pulled Pentacle Earth-based cards, because for what to draw in, I've got the World, and this is definitely a nice sort of, almost like a culminative sense of drawing in everything that you want, basically. You know, as Ritchie mentioned about utilizing your skills, utilizing your abilities, and Gerald, you know, talking about following instructions and actioning on things. This is definitely sort of almost a world is your oyster kind of thing, and there will be a return on that. Like Ritchie said, it's about waiting for the right moment to do it, but definitely a positive sort of outcome in a big way, I would say, with it being, you know, the World as opposed to another Pentacle card. I think there's some definite real sort of big achievements on the horizon.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's lovely energy.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, let's see who we have next. I appreciate everybody being here. Who we have next is Kaylee Fogo Pogo. And I believe Kaylee is here. And Harley said, thank you, Ken. So, all right. Kaylee is here.
Oh, interesting. I promise you I have shuffled this deck, okay? How do I find balance? I pulled the King and the Queen of Wands for you.
Ooh. Yeah, both now, Ken and I are like, ooh.
Everyone's going, ooh, everyone's sitting up at home now. Right, okay. Balance. Well, we've got, if you think about it, and I'm going to be very careful how I use this, the masculine energy of the king and the female energy of the queen together, coming together in balance. So wands are quite, as we said earlier, quite a powerful, strong, fast burning energy. The queen supports the king, but also she is a person in her own right here. So there's a sense that you are going to be owning the season, but also perhaps helping other people or supporting people in that role to get them to be better than they actually are, like a teacher, more like a teacher, or perhaps somebody who works in the background with like a celebrity, like a PA, that kind of sense of without that person, the celebrity can't function. Sorry, my camera's not having trouble focusing here. So there's a real sense that you are the boss and the person that's working in the background at the same time there with this one. So the energies work together nicely. You've got the balancing there between owning it and being part of the creation of it. I hope that makes sense, because I could talk for hours about the joining of these two cards together.
And I would listen. Yes.
So interestingly, your energy to send out is the Page of Wands. And
Ooh.
weirdly, whilst Ritchie was talking, I'm seeing this one is that despite, being that big, important sort of energy figure, that this is kind of saying, actually, though, remember to have fun with it. Remember not to lose the sense of joy and wonder that, that you can easily lose if you get bogged down with the details and, the day-to-day sort of dealings of things. This is the card that says remain youthful in the outlook and, don't lose that sense of wonder and just enjoy things.
And and what you should draw in, I have the 8 of Swords reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Draw in the fact that you are released. You are no longer bound by these other things. Draw in the release. I'm going to say that again with my eyes directly on the camera. Draw in the release and the freedom that comes with that. I mean, come on, the Queen, the King, and the Page of Wands. Girl. It's going to be hard to keep you bound up. So release that freedom. I love that.
Gorgeous.
Yes. Yes.
And the lovely combinations coming out today.
It was. And Kaylee's like, yes, sir. And by the way, this just in, Diana, OMG, I went to the basement for Mabon wreaths, and it became the journey of if you give a mouse a cookie. Came back without one wreath, and feeling that all my spiders are angry because they've knocked down the spider webs. No one ever wants to have that happen. So all right, let's see who we've got next. And next up is Barbara Ruth. Let us know you're here, Barbara.
Do you know, sometimes you do, like, when we're doing really quick readings, it's like, oh, I'd love to spend the 20 minutes talking about this one. But it's like, oh, I've only got a couple of minutes. So.
Well, and this is one of those things I do want to remind people. You can reach out to all of us. We can all do private readings. And if you really want to explore something in depth, what a great way to do that. And you could have Ritchie talk for 25 minutes about the Queen and the King of Wands.
Absolutely happy to do that. Sorry, I just dropped some cards on the floor and I need to.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to put my torch on because it's all dark down there. I forgot.
All right.
Okay. All right, there we go.
And Barbara is here.
Okay, so what I'm in number one. So what we I've forgotten what it is again. How do I find balance?
Find balance?
My brain is not working today. So how do we find balance? I've gone back to the Oracle of Hekatean Path, and we have Eratotokia, the bearer of love, the card of desires. And I think this is quite a balanced card when you think of, we've got again that polarity between masculine and feminine, the liminality of what occurs in between, and it is just about embracing those things that you're passionate about, the things that stir your desires, stir your inner passions, and just embracing and living sort of an authentic life without actually having to worry about what other people think about about your choices or your outlooks or whatever. And I think there's a very warming, energetic quality similar to what we had with the wands in the previous reading. And I think this is just kind of saying, embrace desire and enjoy what life has to offer at this time.
And what do you send out? I got the 7 of coins. What you send out, I mean, this is like a freaking harvest card. I love this. It's that planning and waiting for harvest. And I actually think what you should send out is send out the fact that you have been planning and that you have these things that are coming to fruition. Send out that you're willing to share those, because then the energy will multiply. So this is maybe have a bit of a fire outside and a safe fire ring to where you can do that and enjoy the heat. Invite some people around to sit around the campfire and roast marshmallows, create s'mores, tell stories. There you go.
And I have what to draw in the lovely 5 of Cups. Ken was saying about living in the moment and, drawing down what is there currently. Yeah, live in the moment. This is what it's about. This person isn't seeing the whole picture. Excuse me, as we always see there. So don't miss any opportunity when you're drawing in the season, the energies of the season. Grab the opportunities that are there and go looking for them as well. There's a lovely, you can't quite see on the card, but we have a trout or a salmon being chased by an otter. Oh, that's the Cerridwen legend again that I've been banging on about there. And he is so raptured up by seeing it that he's probably going to either jump in the lake or he's going to sit down and squash those cups that's behind him. So don't miss out on an opportunity. Open your eyes, particularly internally. Open the third eye and look around for the opportunities that are there.
Love that. There you go. Thank you, Barbara, for being here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you all being here. Take time to like, share, and subscribe, because it lets us know that you appreciate us. Who do we have next? Kiba is here, and Susan has joined us. And Marielle's perfect health. If you're here, please let us know. And Barbara said, thanks so much for the very fantastic and accurate reading, Ritchie, Gerald, and Kenn.
You're very welcome, Barbara.
Yes.
And Nancy is loving these readings. Marielle's perfect health. Please let us know you're here.
Yeah, Maria's here.
There you go. It's Maria. Oh, Maria is perfect health.
Oh,
well, that makes much more sense. Thank you, Maria. Sheesh.
It's been a long day.
Okay, so sorry, Maria. Thank you, Maria. So, all right. How do you find balance? Maria, you find balance in the 7 of Cups. You find balance in letting your mind wander a bit and considering all of the options. Considering, you find balance when you have limited yourself and you open up the opportunity to explore what things could be. That's how you find balance. I love that for this card, for this position. Finding balance by dreaming what could be. Love that.
I'm going to deck that one up. Once you've dreamt it, start it. I have the full card for you. They're perfect for a new season, a new approach. Yeah, what can we say? What to send out? It's time to action. Carefully step forward. Start treading that new pathway. That could be anything. But of course, I think it's more to do with perhaps a spiritual or study that's going on there. Take time, tentative steps, but of course, celebrate it and enjoy it for everything that you learn up on your way there. It's time for a new start, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, what to draw in? I've done a Ritchie. I've drawn 2 cards.
Yay!
Yay!
So the first one was from the Oracle of the Hekatean Path, and it's the Podneateron card, the Lady of Wild Beasts, the card of nature. And for me, this is about drawing in those energies of trusting instincts, of not doing things that go against what you feel is your natural flow, or the way you would normally do things. You know, if it's putting you in a uncomfortable or difficult position, then don't do it. And I think it is about embracing that sense of, you know, being in charge of our own nature. And then from the herbal astrology one, I got Calendula, which is the card of purity. It's another solar card. And I think the two of them together are kind of just saying to, you know, be true to yourself, but remain positive even in the face of hardships or delays.
Nice. I mean, that's nice. And Philippa supports you, Ken. Pulling a Ritchie, doing a Ritchie. So there you go. I'm going to fully support that as well. Maria.
Is that the new term now for
Doing a Ritchie.
Doing a Ritchie. There you go.
For the enjoyment of others.
There you go. Yes, and make sure everyone is a consenting adult. So next up we have Duncan Shireman. Are you still here?
Duncan.
Woohoo!
Nice to see you here, Duncan.
Duncan. Listen to me. I'm saying his name over and over and over, and it's like Duncan. Remember how it took me a while to figure out how to say Shireman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maria said,
well done.
Thank you.
Endorse that.
Yes. All right. Duncan, are you here? And Maria said, great reading. Thank you.
Oh,
so, and I know we've been on just for an hour, and it's like, yes, still here. So here we go. So, all right, Duncan.
It's funny that I'm in the middle because my middle name is Duncan.
And I'll put this stuff up.
Right then, Duncan. The chariot, or your chariot awaits, sir. What do I find, or how do you find balance? The chariot is in many ways the best card that represents balance. To ride or be in control of these wild horses, you have to have your hands on the reins at all times. You cannot afford to switch off and just enjoy the countryside as it goes past. Okay, you have to be adjusting your position so you don't fall over. You have to be looking ahead of yourself so you don't hit a pothole. So to get that perfect drive, to be able to get the chariot to where you want to be, you have to be on your game the whole time. It's not difficult. It's not a treacherous pathway. It can just be sometimes a little bit tiring. So just keep your focus where it needs to be. I pulled you an oracle card, which fits lovely. You've got realignment. Feel the ebb and flow of life, which fits in. Again, look, you've got that Selkie card again that you were talking about as well, which is beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's all fitting together rather nicely. Keep on focusing, keep on the pathway you're going there. Sometimes you hit a pothole, it's just a fun little jolt. So just enjoy the ride and keep in control.
I love that.
So the energy that we send out is the Three of Cups. And so Ritchie was saying about ebbs and flows and being in control of your chariot. And whilst he was talking, I was kind of just looking at this card, because often when it crops up in a reading for me, it's like a cross between sort of party time and like the Witches of Eastwick, bickery, sort of gossipy types. But it kind of made me start thinking, you know, it's okay to enjoy life and to be outwardly sort of frivolous and flamboyant sometimes, especially, you know, emotionally. But then I kind of got the notion of this whole not being drunk at the chariot wheel kind of thing. But interestingly, when we look at the bottom of the card, you can see harvest symbols. So you've got pumpkins and you've got grapes as well. And so I do think that this is about a celebration of this harvest time, of celebrating what you've managed to reap, or you know, the rewards that have come back to you so far this year in what you've been sort of investing in. And I think there is no harm in, you know, being outwardly proud and outwardly excited and happy about it. And so, you know, so as long as you don't go to an extreme, you know, enjoy it and, you know, raise a cup to yourself.
So that was the Three of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Six of Cups reversed, which I think this is interesting because reversed, this means stop spending so much time thinking about the past. Instead, spend time looking to the future. So draw in the enjoyment and the expectation you are going to have so many wonderful adventures. This chariot is going to be able to lead you to these amazing adventures. So looking forward, draw in looking forward instead of looking into the past. And I love how in this card, it's the roots, and it's the roots that have all of the color on them. So there you go. Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you, Duncan.
Great. Yay. I don't think I've been able to give Duncan a reading for a while.
No.
So, all right. So next up we have, who do we have? Water Lily. Are you still here, Water Lily? And by the way, how much longer do I have the pleasure of your company?
I can do another half hour.
Okay. I can
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere or doing anything. So.
And Water Lily is here. I've got about 20 minutes, so we'll see how many we can get through. So, and Water Lily is here. By the way, everyone's links are below, including the link to this, I don't know, this Oracle of the Hekatean Path. You might have heard of it. Links to donate to Ritchie's favorite charities. Links to show support to my channel and to contact me for a much more in-depth reading, which I totally love doing. So
love it.
Yes. So Water Lily is here.
Okay, so I'm back in number one. So how do we find balance? And interestingly, I've got the 8 of Wands again. and had this in this position for Madame Maru, but it's again, I think it's definitely speaking to this notion of directional energy, and I think to find the balance, it's about getting literally all of your wands to be pointing in the same direction. You know, get everything lined up so that when the momentum is at its peak, that literally you're going to pot all of the balls. You know, you're not going to miss anything, and it's all going to kind of just fall into a nice order of one thing falling into place after another. And it will happen quickly once the ball starts to roll. It's kind of almost like a knock-on effect. But I definitely think you've got to have a conscious effort to ensure that everything is, all primed and ready to go before you hit that switch.
And so, I love the idea of hitting the switch, because who would hit a switch? A Page of Swords. Page of Swords
do not press. Do not press.
Yes, do not press. Well, of course, the Page of Swords would press. So what to send out? Send out this excitement of you acquiring new knowledge with some enthusiasm. I think the pages are the ones with a lot of enthusiasm and curiosity. So send that out. Be willing to explore and challenge some of your standard ways of thinking. And I would even say fact check all of the things that you're exploring. Fact checking is important. So there you go.
Lovely. Water Lily, I have the wheel. The cycle is turning. It's a new season. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. I'm not going to sing. Okay. But I also did a Ritchie. I pulled 2 cards. This one flew out at the same time. You have the 4 of Pentacles here. So what to draw in? It's time to lock away, put away, store away the stuff that you are now going to need for the next part of the year. So if you are into preserves and cooking and harvesting, it's time to make sure that everything's in a jar with a label on it. Your shelves are ready to go. It's time to get all that abundance that you've been working on, filing away, putting books, having a bit of a spring clean, putting everything in order, because I feel that you're going to be using it a lot during the next season. So, making sure you know where everything is, making sure you've perhaps had a bit of a spring clean, tidied up, but certainly get ready for the darker half of the year and all the wonderful things that's going to be coming your way.
I love that. There you go. Thank you, Water Lily. It's wonderful. All right. And Duncan said, thank you guys. All of your cards resonate so much, resonating with my own readings. You all have a greater eloquence in linking the cards than me. It's just practice. And Duncan said, told you not to be concerned again. So, and so there you go. It all resonates. And Diana is taking that advice too, Ritchie. And thank you all. And Harley said, OMG, Ken, just went to your Amazon link to find you, and it seems I had already found it out on my own and had marked it as a favorite and saved it to my wish list. So funny, but very, very cool.
Thank you.
All right. So next up, who do we have? I appreciate everybody being here, giving the thumbs up, doing all of the things. Jonathan Daly, who has had to leave, so he has said skip him. So thank you, Jonathan. And so next up we have, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I'm so excited. Rossi, are you still here? Rossi, are you still here? Oh, and Kaylee said making an apple cake tonight as well as peach Compote, definitely canning and baking.
Mm.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, I was very lucky to be gifted by a very good dear friend of mine some pumpkin puree in a tin.
Who did that?
I don't know, but they're very kind and generous. And so I'm looking forward to using that again this year.
Love that. Love that. Rossi is here. I am so glad, Rossi. Thank you. And so, Rossi, how do you find balance? Let's find some balance for Rossi or help. Rossi. Okay, Rossi, you find balance by doing some things that are just flat out foolish. You just, I wonder what's going on at such and such park. Jump in the car and go. Hydrate, take some water, take a stick, take your dog, be the fool and go out there and enjoy the excitement of the adventure. What's coming? And I'm also going to be a person who I'm going to encourage you to take out a notebook with you and jot some things down. So go out, have some courageous energy, and be silly.
In fact, take more than that with you, because what to send out? I've got the Six of Pentacles. Rossi, I'm going to say, give generously, but keep the receipts, okay? Because you never quite know with what you put out, you might need someday to call back in. And so in that notebook that Gerald just told you to use, jot down a few things of when you are expending energy, when you are being kind, when you are giving, when you are donating, when you are using your time for other people. Know that that can also be reciprocated when you need it.
Nice.
And the energy to draw in is Hecate's Datenon, the sacrifice. And I think Ritchie touched on it about the giving generously but keeping the receipts. I think sometimes there are those occasions where you need to draw it back in, and you need to invest in yourself before you can sort of invest in others. And I think this notion of sacrifice comes from sometimes we overextend, and then when we are then no longer able to sort of give of ourselves to others, we find it difficult to get something back to help us from outside. So sometimes I think this is definitely a card that's sort of suggesting be aware of how drawn out things are, and always keep something in reserve so that you can get by in the fallow times.
Yeah, and I think you're all right, especially with the Fool. Don't be foolish to the detriment of your overall well-being. Keep the receipts. So there you go. Rossi said it makes sense. I'm too serious. So, Duncan has asked a question, and question to the readers: do you give readings for yourself collectively? And Duncan, do you mean, do we read for ourselves? I mean, like, do I read for Gerald? Does Ritchie read for Ritchie? Does Kenn read for Kenn? Or does Gerald read for Kenn and Ritchie? Let us know. It's a great question. I want to answer it.
Lovely question.
And Rossi said, yes, I need to keep something for myself. I guess I will need to keep receipts. And Kristen Louise has joined us. And Kristen Louise, hello. It's lovely to have you here. And you can watch the playback, because guess what? These were awesome readings. So do either of you have thoughts on this question? I think this is a fun little question.
So I mean, when I saw it, I assumed that he meant, do we do like this, but for us, either backstage or whatever. And obviously we don't really, but it might be fun.
We could do. We've never done it, have we? But
No. Well, and I have done. I have a new show. I call it Readings for Readers, where I invite another person on, and we give each other a reading based on a legit question, something that is important to me. I just did one with Linda de Gonzalez a couple 3 weeks ago, which was really insightful.
wonderful.
And I mean, we could do that. So
That'd be interesting. Do you know what? I haven't had anyone do a reading for me for a long time. Last one I think was Elemental Cartomancy Chris when I was on his round table.
It's a great question.
Now we've got all these lovely dark evenings coming around and sitting where I'm not with nothing to do. Perhaps this is the perfect time.
So, because I'm out of time, I need to go. But shall we do one for the collective?
That would be lovely. Yes.
Are you okay with being in your position, your current position?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is for. Oh, here I should write this in. Here, I'll put this in there. Collective reading for everyone watching. And Amanda Carroll said, love watching readers get readings. I do too, especially because I like it because it's a nice teachable moment. Here's how I do it. How do you do it? And then we learn something. So, all right, everybody, how do you find balance? Here you go. You find balance with the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles says to me, you are understanding your heritage, who you are, what brought you up, and you embrace that. Was all of this experience positive? Not necessarily. It is part of you, and how you use it gives you the ability to find balance. So
lovely. I have what to send out. The Two of Swords. So people make the right choice. Make the right choice. And if you don't know what the right choice is, don't make any choice. Sit and wait and ponder it a bit more, okay? No rash decisions. Take a decision when it's the right time to do it. Not making a decision is a decision that you make. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, about decisions, drawing in is the Two of Wands.
Oh my gosh.
And I think this is kind of maybe having made the decision, but not having the time just yet to act on it, but just be confident in the knowledge that the choice is made. Don't doubt it. Just wait for the perfect moment.
Works together nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Especially when you think about all of our past experiences and the traditions that we have, they help to inform our choices.
Mm.
And sometimes you need to do something because that's how you've always done it. And other times you need to go, no, I'm doing it differently, making a different choice.
Mm.
So, Duncan said, thank you, Ken. That was what I was thinking. You guys give so much of your time to others. It crossed my mind that the readers may need guidance too. Stay tuned. So, Robin, Toadstool Tarot is here. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. Ritchie, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I can't remember.
And okay, so what should happen? Everyone should like and subscribe.
I don't know. I've got some lovely plans coming, and I've been back to work, and I just can't remember how far I've planned in advance. And my diary's over there, and I'm not going to go and get it now. So
no, yes,
I will be one, and I'll let you know in the next few days.
There you go. Ken, what do you have coming up on your channel?
So nothing specific planned at the minute. I'm just trying to sort of work out what I want to do with the channel, because it has been a bit quiet, apart from obviously these lives and such. But I want to kind of
Gerald
start.
keeps inviting him.
I do want to. I do want to work on on some content though. It's just sort of figuring out what I want to do.
So hi, Sharon. I am doing mediumship with Sun Psychic Jean. I got an invitation to join Ramon and Linda de Gonzalez for some readings later tonight, and I said yes. I've got some really amazing shows scheduled for next week. And then October, I'm going to be having some amazing shows. I'm really wanting to do much more of like the readings for readers and the education and the laugh and learns.
Gorgeous.
So you'll be seeing more of those. So it's lovely. So, all right. So yeah, Maria's like, oh. So, and who knows? I mean, Ken, you've been making the rounds though.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. And I didn't mean it to sound like, oh, Ken, you've been making the rounds. I'm not. I mean,
yeah, no, I've kind of popped up here and there, and I'm still kind of getting used to it for me, because this is all virgin territory for for me, especially since obviously the deck came out. But yeah, I've got some. I think I've got another couple of lives sort of in the pipeline, and then I know I've recorded a couple of podcasts and such as well that will be coming out on various channels and things.
Ooh, nice.
So, and yeah, if anybody, I've said this on my own profiles before, but if anybody does have channels or whatever's and they want to either talk to me or listen to me talk, then just reach out. I'm more than happy to grace you all with my presence.
You'll be getting a message from me soon.
Well, and Ken, if you ever want to host a live, I'm a pretty decent guest. I don't run from the room screaming, and I don't try to take over often. So,
Duly noted. Duly noted.
I love it. You're so kind. Everyone, thank you so very much. You are all amazing. Thank you, and everyone take care.